According to the Bank of Ghana's May 2022 Monetary Policy Report, at 3.5%, the agriculture, forestry and fishing sectors are the second lowest recipient of credit to the private sector as at April 2022, only faring better than the mining and quarrying sector, which received 1.8% of credit from banks in the country. The same report shows that the services sector received the biggest chunk of credit, giving out by banks at 33.4%, a significant jump from 29.4% in April last year. This development has led to the Minister of Agric noting that steps are being taken to introduce a legislation that will compel banks to lend more to the agriculture sector. But in an interview with City Business News, CEO of the Ghana Association of Banks, Johnny Wa, said more steps need to be taken to protect the funds of banks as they lend to the agriculture sector.
You see, before we think about legislation, we need to ask our questions. The key problems with the sector that makes it very difficult to deepen financial intermediation. If we are able to work together to de-risk, the agri sector, the fact that there are no proper instruments to also protect the banks. The banks are working with depositors' money. We are just coming out of financial crisis where the state had to step in to, spend so much money in order to safeguard depositors' money. You don't want deposited money also going to a sector that presently may not, for all intents and purposes, the risk profile of the sector has not really changed significantly. We still have significant post-harvest losses instruments. There is no insurance cover available for crop loss or post-harvest losses or all the other kind of losses within the sector that potentially can crystallize and may result in some financial loss or some loss, credit loss to the bank.
Mr. Wa further highlighted the role of institutions like the Ghana Commodity Exchange in de-risking the sector.
Also, yes, we know that there's commodity exchange. To what extent is commodity exchange working with the national buffer stock and all the other state programs and infrastructure to ensure that there's a seamless process from the farm gate all the way to the final consumer of the agri produce. So we need to not jump the gun and make sure that we first work together to continue de-risking the sector, and the funding will come almost without asking. The Brazilian one has serious challenges, and they continue working at it. Let us work from bottom up, trying to work together to de-risk, the sector, and the GAB program, which you aptly brought up, is one such de-risking factor where there is a partial guarantee of the funding, and therefore, even if in the unlikely event that something goes wrong, the bank doesn't lose everything that they put in there, but there is some form of remedial or mitigant that helps in also assisting the banks to provide some further protection to the depositor who provide the funding.